Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be on with John Tretheway, and ahead of his show, it's show week, and ahead of his show, on the 14th of October at York Hall, Bethnal Green. We've got a stack card. It's a 10 fight card, and yeah, good to get you back on, John.
Thanks, Sam. Always good to be on. Hope you're well, mate.
Thank you, mate. And so we'll just run through the cards. So Andre Dazaluke is taking on the tough journeyman Daryl Sharp.
Andre Descalu. Yeah, look, it's a shame for Andre. He was penciled in about 2 months ago on this card to fight for the super middleweight Southern Area title. Sadly, Onder Ozgal got injured and his ribs weren't good, so it's right for him to rest and recover. So it's not a title fight for him. We knew that a while back, though. That title fight sort of like fell through about 6-7 weeks ago, but he's still on the card, ticking over. It'll be a nice fight for him. Daryl Sharp is a very game durable journeyman.
Been in
So
there with
it'll be very,
everyone.
yeah, it'd be very hard to get rid of him. But Andre's very stylistically good. We've had him before. This will be a good fight for him, and then he'll be back out for that title or maybe another title, probably early part of next year, maybe back end of the year.
Would you reschedule the Under Oscar fight v Andre?
Of course, yeah. So it's got to be, well, we have to hope that Onda recovers. If he recovers, we'd love to have that on. And if not, if Onda doesn't recover and we have to look for a different opponent, and then Onda could maybe fight the winner, that'll be fine.
But yes, is it 6 rounds or 4?
6th round for Andre.
And then you've got JP O'Meara v Lopez, of course. JP last time out, he was scheduled to fight on the Big City Dreams card, but unfortunately that fight didn't go ahead. But he's got Flores Lopez, who is boxed like all over the country, boxed on TNT Sport quite recently against Royston Barney Smith. He's a tough opponent for him on his debut as well.
It is a tough opponent, Sam. We were gutted for JP. At the time, he broke a record for ticket sales on any of TM14 shows, and we've done about 35 of them now. So the volume of tickets he'd done was amazing. There was a problem at the weigh-in where the other fighter just chose not to fight. It doesn't really matter why, but he didn't fight. As we found out, JP's fans were literally walking in the building. So we were gutted for him. It weren't like it fell through the day before, which is still horrible, even a week before. So we did the right thing there. We spoke to his manager, which was Darren Barker, and his trainer, who we worked very closely with, Adam Martin. And it was very important to say, look, let's just get him straight back out on the next show. And we've honoured all those tickets. So we're expecting, he sold more for people who couldn't even turn up to the last one, who were away. So he's done even more. So it will be absolute rowdy in there. He's a great amateur. He's got a lot of noise around him, JP. He dealt with it really, really well. You know, the fight falling through at like 5 o'clock on fight day was horrendous for everybody, but no one more so than poor old JP. But no, he's been brilliant, and he'll be back out. And yeah, and the fight's a good fight. A tough debut, but we expect him to come through with flying colours.
And you've also got John Robertson. I think he's making his 3rd fight. I do believe he's 2-0 or 3-0 at the minute.
John Robertson, it's his 2nd fight, mate. We had his debut.
Trained
by Rambo.
Sharp.
Yes, that was it. He fought Daryl Sharp. That was on a York Hall, one of our cards about 4 months ago now. I'm trying to think, maybe it was June or May. June, I think. Great prospect, John Robertson. Really good character, very popular guy. Sells a hell of a lot of tickets. Did really well on his debut. He's trained by Rambo, who's an excellent trainer, managed by Kevin Mitchell, who we work closely with. So, you know, does a lot in and out of the Matchroom gym as well as his other gym in Brentwood. So expect a good performance there from John. We're looking forward to having him back out on his 2nd fight.
And you've also got Elliot Whale as well.
Yeah, we're tough to have Elliot Whale. You know, he's a former MTK fighter, good following, used to fight out the iBox gym, which everybody knows how amazing that is down in Bromley in Kent. He's transferred up to Birmingham. I think he's still living down south of the river, somewhere like Bexley or somewhere like that. But he's training in Birmingham now with Errol Johnson, who was, I think, maybe his amateur coach or something, but that seems to be working well for him. He hasn't fought for 18 months, so it'll be good to get him back out and get the cobwebs off in another 6-rounder, which is good. Again, he sold absolutely ridiculously well, so we expect it to be very loud and rowdy in there with his fans.
Well, I'm sure. Well, your call's going to be sold out because I mean, quite a lot of them sell a handful of tickets. I mean, it's going to be there's not going to be an empty seat. Just put it that way.
Yeah, we're hoping it's the busiest one that we've done yet. It certainly looks that way on the tickets sold, Sam. So yes, I hope that's the case come Saturday night.
You've also got Tommy Murphy v Miguel Zamora. Was that? Is it the same Miguel? Is it Miguel who beat David Merger?
That's it. Yeah, look, Tommy's a great prospect. We're proud to say that we managed and guiding the next stage of his career. He was 4-0 when we got him. He had a show on the Peacock show where I thought technically was brilliant. He showed a different side to his game, and we were really pleased with him. So he's now fighting Zamora. Zamora's got a winning record. He's 2-1 himself. He did beat David Merger, and he beat him 4 rounds to 0. So that shows that Tommy's willing to take a good fight there, and we expect Tommy to put on a really good show on Saturday night on a big York Hall show.
Is he fighting in a 6 rounder?
It is a 6 rounder, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's his first 6 rounder, I believe.
Yeah, well done, Sam. You always know your stuff. You're so knowledgeable. You always do your research. Yeah, he's got to take the 6 rounders now. He's ready for the step up. He's got to get used to the longer rounds and the longer format as he starts moving up. Hopefully this will take him to 6-0. It won't be too many fights later where we start thinking about dropping him in with a title at Southern Area level, and he's got to get used to tougher opponents and longer rounds, and that's exactly what we expect to get on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. And then you've also got Brendan Needham v Ryan LeBourne.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to having Brendan on. I think he's 1-0, possibly 2. My apologies there. We've not had Brendan before. He's coming down from Sheffield. We're hooking up with Fight Zone on this show, so I'm working with Dennis Hobson. And Dennis Hobson, Brendan is one of Dennis's fighters, and he was like, right, I want to get a fighter on, John. So I was like, absolutely, it's your show with me. So we're looking forward to him turning up on Saturday and putting on a show.
And Ryan LeBourne's tough as they come as well. Is it because Ryan fights sometimes at light heavy or cruiserweight? What weight is it? Cruiser.
I think it's just below, somewhere in between, to be fair. It'll be nearer cruiser than light heavy. But yeah, like you say, Ryan DeBorn is another good fighter, and that's what we're trying to do. We want all the fights to be competitive, Sam, and it should be like that.
We've also got Louis O'Doherty v Rustem, who Rustem's he's been on your show a few times now, and he comes to have a scrap as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, a good person who comes to have a go. Now, Louis O'Doherty, I've got to give him a shout out here. Not my words. He went in with someone recently. He fought a fighter, and the fighter came out who'd had 60, 70 fights. And I heard him when he came out the rim saying, I don't think I've ever fought anyone as good as that. We know the pedigree that Louis has. He's got a great amateur background. I think he's 4-0 now already. He will go a long way in the sport, and it's just another step up for Louis. Managed very well and trained with Gordon Charlesworth, and again trains in the Peacock gym there, which we work closely with. So we know his talent. We watch him spar. We know what happens in sparring against who he spars. So look out for another solid performance there from Louis in another 6 rounder.
It's a good step up for him, isn't it?
Yeah, and that will continue to happen with Louis because he has. So it's the right step up at the right time, and then you'll probably see another one the next fight, etc., etc.
And then we've got another big ticket seller, Sonny Hardy, who's won an over Jules Phillips over 4 rounds, and Jules has had 28 fights, so very experienced opponent.
So was Sonny Hardy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sonny's opponent.
yeah, so a good opponent again. The thing with Sonny, he is a good talent. He had his debut with us before. He's obviously won his first fight. He almost stole the show. I'm not quite sure he did because the title fight with Vinder and Alfie, everyone was talking about that. But Sonny was on just before, and if you go back now and look on YouTube at the fight, you couldn't even hear the commentators, and that weren't because the mics weren't good enough. It was because of the noise that he brought with his fans. And again, he's bringing a lot of fans with him. Again, and we expect him to put on another great performance. Another one who's trained and managed by Kevin Mitchell's going out of the Matchroom gym. We had a quote on a poster today. Joe Cordina's coming down to watch him front row, and Joe Cordina's like he's improving all the time. So you
He
can't buy
spars with
sparring.
Joe as well.
That's right. You can't buy that sparring, mate. So the fact that he gets that day in, day out in the Matchroom gym would tell you that he's just going to get better and better.
And then we've got, I guess it's the co-main event, Jeff O'Forey, who's 12 wins, 3 wins by knockout, 5 defeats with 1 draw. It's experience I wouldn't say youth, but you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. I think you've worded it quite well. I'm sure Marley will appreciate you saying he's youthful.
He's
You've got
4-0 with 1 knockout.
Yeah, look, you've got the experience with Jeff Ofori. Look who Jeff Ofori's been in, and trying to think off the top of my head: Ahara
Mark
Davis, Mark
Chamberlain.
James, Alfie Price, Archie Sharp. A lot of people will tell you, if you watch that, if you haven't watched it, a lot of people will tell you he beat Archie Sharp there on points. He didn't get the decision on the night, and it was a close fight. So, but a lot of people do think he won that. So, that level of opponent is a hell of a lot better or more experienced than what Marley's ever fought at. Is Marley good enough to get to that level? Quite possibly and quite probably. Marley's brave, mate, because he's taken that fight after 4 fights. Marley is a dream to promote. I could ask him to fight Mike Tyson tomorrow, and he would, because that's just the way he is. And he's given a little bit of needle towards Jeff, so the press conference was quite interesting. But Jeff took it in good spirit, and Marley's a very nice natured lad. I think he's just stoking it up a bit. You've got Marley, who's just going to come forward for an absolute war, because that's what he does. He's a 3-time, as he corrected me, a 3-time ex-world kickboxing champion. I'm sure you don't get those honours just for a laugh. And then Jeff is as slick as you get. Some people are saying, is Jeff a bit older? But Jeff lives the sport. He walks around at the rate. I think he's 33, but he probably looks and acts about 25. So I
And
don't
he's
think that's
done
going
the
to.
10 rounds before.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. He's been in a few 10-rounders and that. So he literally, it is experience against youth, certainly on paper. It could still be fight of the night. That it might not be for a title fight like the other one, but it is an absolute cracker. Styles make fights. You've got a slick, stylish fighter, in my opinion, against a come forward brawler. So fireworks, expect fireworks big time in that fight.
Because Marley wanted it for his debut when Frank Arnold v Jeff fell through originally. He's been calling for that fight for quite a while, and it's finally happening. And I do believe, would it be like a title eliminator?
Yeah, you're right. So Marley, to be fair, when I mentioned he'd fight Mike Tyson, he probably would. On his debut, his stablemate Frank Arnold didn't get cleared medically, which was a shame, and that was for a title. He actually wanted to fight him on his debut. Now, he would never been out to fight for a title on his debut, but I was like, you can't fight for a title. He went, I don't want a title. I just Sorry, the phone was ringing there. I was like, it's your debut. Are you mental? You don't want to fight someone like Jeff Fury. But he actually would have fought Jeff.
He would have, yeah.
Had we have done it. It isn't for an eliminator. It isn't for a title. We tried to get it for a title, but you've got to be realistic. He's only had 4 fights at the moment. We know how good Marley is, and we know how good Jeff is. So it's worthy of a title, Sam, and you will see lots of Southern area title fights that aren't as good as this, to be fair. So the fact there's not a belt on the line kind of makes it even that bit better, because not everybody is easy to take title fights when they're 50-50s. You get a lot of people who don't want to fight this fighter or that fighter. They're both taking the fight, and hats off to Marley, because on paper he'd be the underdog. I did a poll on it on the internet the other day on Instagram, like who would win. I don't share results, but it was as 50-50 as you get. So the public think it's, in terms of what they're voting, I think it's 50-50. I know I'd say that, but yeah, great fight.
And then we've got our main event of the evening, Indabasi, 10 wins, 1 defeat with 1 knockout win v Shakib Khan, who's 6 wins, 1 defeat, and it's for the Southern Area welterweight title. And Inda sells loads of tickets, and Shakib does quite a few as well. So I mean, it's
they've both sold a ridiculous amount of tickets. Hence why I said I think it should be very busy, Sam.
Who sold the most tickets, if you can say?
I'm not going to say. They both sold brilliant. That's all. When you're in there, you're coming, I think. But if you're in the building, you'll work out maybe you sold more. But there ain't that much in it. You got to look at Inda. Always sells ridiculous amounts of tickets. It's been the biggest ticket seller I've known now.
No, I mean, who sold the most tickets on the show?
A lot of them, mate. I'll be honest. I haven't even collected final tickets yet, so I actually
Tommy
couldn't
does
tell
a
you.
lot. Sonny does a lot. Inda, Marley does quite a few. Like loads of them do quite a load of tickets.
John Robertson, Elliot Whale, Sakib Khan, Inda. Yeah, all of them. literally all of them do tickets, Sam, which is great. But going back to the Inder fight, you know, the last fight he fought Alfie Winter for the title. Everybody was saying that Alfie was the favourite and Alfie was going to win. I had it very close and 50-50. I weren't sure who was going to win. They're both close friends of ours. One we work with in the gym very closely. The other one, Alfie, Jesus, we've had Alfie 4 or 5 times on our shows. He's like one of our sons. It was disappointing for Alfie on the night. You know, first round stoppage, no one expected that. There clearly was a cut. There was some kind of clash of heads. Did that impact it? You know, Alfie certainly tells us it did. So we have to believe that. And why wouldn't it? Inder, on the other hand, owned the fight though at the same time. So that fight Alfie will be back. He's too good not to be, and I know he's back out. I think he's on a Dean White show in a few weeks. Alfie will be back and back in the hunt for the title again soon. And you know, maybe that fight down the line there'll be a rematch at a better level. Because I know a lot of people we'd like to see it go for 10 rounds or even 12 rounds, depending where it was. As for Saqib, you've got to give it to him. You know, he was 6-0. He then got beat. I didn't have him getting beat on that. That was on our show. I was ringside. He had a point deducted as well. Even with the point deducted, I still think he won it. But I weren't the referee. Listen, we give respect to the referee. Saqib was clearly unhappy with it and his team, as you would be. So were we, but we move on. Rather than go and have a regroup and another fight and a warm-up like some people do and want to sort of like get a few more journeymen under, he was ringing me up going, I want to fight Inder, get that title made. And we went and made that title. So hats off to both fighters. There's a lot on the line there in title. Bit of needle at the weigh-in again. A lot of rivalry. I've never seen one fight in particular sell so many tickets across the two of them. So yeah, let's hope if you got a ticket, you're in. But it's going to be very busy in there, and that's a great fight, and that will headline.
Why should people tune into Fight Zone? Like, what makes your shows unique?
Sorry, phone was ringing. Fight Zone, because quite clearly it's on live. It's a great platform. We're pleased to be working with Dennis Hobson and Fight Zone. They've produced great shows in the past. In the past, it was like pay-per-view, so people would have to pay for it. It's not pay-per-view. It's totally free. So tune in to Fight Zone. I imagine it will start about 5:30, 6 o'clock. And it's just a great card. If you haven't got a ticket or you can't afford to get there or you live too far away, it's not just one of those where you would log on because you know someone fighting. There's no other fight on Saturday night. I say no other. There is a big show, which is the DAZN one, the Misfits, where you've got KSI against Tommy Fury, which is very interesting. And I would definitely be paying for that and watching it if I was at home. I won't be because I'll be busy myself. But in terms of any other straightforward boxing event which isn't a crossover, I'd like to believe ours is the biggest show in the country on Saturday, and it's got the right platform it deserves where it's being streamed live, Sam. So get logged on to Fight Zone, fans, if you aren't coming on the night.
And thank you for your time and good luck with the show, and I'll see you Saturday.
I look forward to it, Sam. See you Saturday.
Bye, mate.
Cheers.